overwhelmed, overwhelmed. I was completely overwhelmed by his generosity. I was completely overwhelmed by his generosity. Motivated, motivated. He is motivated by greed, pure and simple. He is motivated by greed, pure and simple. Surprised, surprised. She was surprised when she saw me in the kitchen. She was surprised when she saw me in the kitchen. Proud, proud. He was proud of himself for not giving up. He was proud of himself for not giving up. Ecstatic, ecstatic. Sally was ecstatic about her new job. Sally was ecstatic about her new job. Puzzled, puzzled. The boy's unusual behaviour puzzled the doctor. The boy's unusual behaviour puzzled the doctor. Bored, bored. I get the impression that he is bored with his job. I get the impression that he is bored with his job. Confident, confident. I feel confident that we will win the match. I feel confident that we will win the match. Stubborn, stubborn. She has inherited her mother's stubborn attitude. She has inherited her mother's stubborn attitude. Embarrassed, embarrassed. I was embarrassed by his comments about my clothes. I was embarrassed by his comments about my clothes. Nervous, nervous. I felt really nervous before the interview. I felt really nervous before the interview. Frustrated, frustrated. She felt increasingly frustrated by her inability to demonstrate her ideas. She felt increasingly frustrated by her inability to demonstrate her ideas. Shy, shy. He was too shy to ask anyone for help. He was too shy to ask anyone for help. Ashamed, ashamed. She was deeply ashamed of her behaviour at the party. She was deeply ashamed of her behaviour at the party. Confused, confused. They confused me by asking so many questions. They confused me by asking so many questions. Happy, happy. Every time I hear that song, I feel happy. Every time I hear that song, I feel happy. Smug, smug. He was so unbearably smug about winning the game. He was so unbearably smug about winning the game. Optimistic, Optimistic. She is not optimistic about the outcome of the meeting. She is not optimistic about the outcome of the meeting. Relieved. Relieved. I'm relieved to hear the good news. I'm relieved to hear the good news. Disgusted. Disgusted. I was disgusted with myself for eating so much. I was disgusted with myself for eating so much. Hopeful. Hopeful. I am hopeful that she will come tomorrow. I am hopeful that she will come tomorrow. Determined. Determined. We are determined to get at the truth. We are determined to get at the truth. Tired. Tired. I'm so tired I could sleep for a week. I'm so tired I could sleep for a week. Excited. Excited. He was getting excited just thinking about the trip. He was getting excited just thinking about the trip. Skeptical. Skeptical. I'm extremely skeptical about what I read in the press. I'm extremely skeptical about what I read in the press. Worried. Worried. I'm worried about washing that shirt in case it shrinks. I'm worried about washing that shirt in case it shrinks. Thoughtful. Thoughtful. She's a very kind and thoughtful person. She's a very kind and thoughtful person. Thirsty. Thirsty. He was so thirsty that he drank a mug of milk. He was so thirsty that he drank a mug of milk. Hungry. Hungry. I'm so hungry that my stomach is rumbling. I'm so hungry that my stomach is rumbling. Jealous. Jealous. There is no reason to be jealous of me. There is no reason to be jealous of me. Suspicious. Suspicious. I'm very suspicious about her motives. I'm very suspicious about her motives. Envious. Envious. I'm so envious of you for getting an extra day off. I'm so envious of you for getting an extra day off. Anxious. Anxious. He seemed anxious about the meeting. He seemed anxious about the meeting. Curious. Curious. I was curious to know what would happen next. I was curious to know what would happen next. Angry. Angry. I came home late and my mother was angry. I came home late and my mother was angry. Paranoid. Paranoid. My father is paranoid about being robbed. My father is paranoid about being robbed. Disappointed. Disappointed. To say that I'm disappointed is an understatement. To say that I'm disappointed is an understatement. Lazy. Lazy. I was feeling too lazy to go out. I was feeling too lazy to go out. Irritated. Irritated. He was irritated by their constant complaints. He was irritated by their constant complaints. Calm. Calm. He tried very hard to remain calm. He tried very hard to remain calm. Bitter. Bitter. He had grown bitter as the years passed. He had grown bitter as the years passed. Upset. Upset. Naturally, I get upset when things go wrong. Naturally, I get upset when things go wrong. Ambitious. Ambitious. He was an ambitious man with a strong personality. He was an ambitious man with a strong personality. Tender. Tender. My arm was very tender after the injection. My arm was very tender after the injection. Furious. Furious. I was furious when he crashed my car. I was furious when he crashed my car. Betrayed. Betrayed. She felt betrayed by her mother's lack of support. She felt betrayed by her mother's lack of support. Invigorated. Invigorated. She seemed invigorated, full of life and energy. She seemed invigorated, full of life and energy. Indecisive. Indecisive. He was criticised as a weak and indecisive leader. He was criticised as a weak and indecisive leader. Uncertain. Uncertain. They are uncertain about what to do next. They are uncertain about what to do next. Refreshed. Refreshed. She felt refreshed after her sleep. She felt refreshed after her sleep. Sleepy. Sleepy. The soft background music made her feel sleepy. The soft background music made her feel sleepy. Vulnerable. Vulnerable. She looked vulnerable standing there on her own. She looked vulnerable standing there on her own. Prepared. Prepared. We prepared ourselves for the long journey ahead. We prepared ourselves for the long journey ahead. healthy, healthy. I'm strong, I'm powerful, I'm healthy. I'm strong, I'm powerful, I'm healthy. Shocked, shocked. He was so shocked that he could hardly say a word. He was so shocked that he could hardly say a word. Inspired, inspired. I was inspired to work harder than ever before. I was inspired to work harder than ever before. Hopeless, hopeless. I'm a hopeless dancer. I've got 2 left feet. I'm a hopeless dancer. I've got 2 left feet. Cautious, cautious. My inner voice told me to be cautious. My inner voice told me to be cautious. Outraged, outraged. He was outraged at the way he had been treated. He was outraged at the way he had been treated. Queasy, queasy. I started to feel queasy as soon as the boat left the harbour. I started to feel queasy as soon as the boat left the harbour. Lucky, lucky. I was lucky that I met you here. I was lucky that I met you here. Brave, brave. He was commended for his brave actions. He was commended for his brave actions. Relaxed, relaxed. Did you feel comfortable and relaxed at the party? Did you feel comfortable and relaxed at the party? Humble, humble. He's very humble about his success. He's very humble about his success. Overjoyed, overjoyed. She was overjoyed that her article had been published. She was overjoyed that her article had been published. Sensitive, sensitive. He's extremely sensitive about his weight. He's extremely sensitive about his weight. Alarmed, alarmed. I was slightly alarmed by what Susan told me. I was slightly alarmed by what Susan told me. Satisfied, satisfied. Are you satisfied with your new car? Are you satisfied with your new car? Reluctant, reluctant. She was reluctant to admit the truth. She was reluctant to admit the truth. Competent, competent. He's a competent politician, but he lacks vision. He's a competent politician, but he lacks vision. Naive, naive. He was naive and easily influenced by his friends. He was naive and easily influenced by his friends. Overloaded, overloaded. All the staff are overloaded with work. All the staff are overloaded with work. Upbeat, upbeat. He sounded upbeat and wished us all the best. He sounded upbeat and wished us all the best. Unappreciated, unappreciated. Her job left her feeling unfulfilled and unappreciated. Her job left her feeling unfulfilled and unappreciated. Obsessive, obsessive. Some people are obsessive about cleanliness. Some people are obsessive about cleanliness. Withdrawn, withdrawn. The child became secretive and withdrawn. The child became secretive and withdrawn. Reassured, reassured. I feel much more reassured when I've been for a health check. I feel much more reassured when I've been for a health check. Useless, useless. I felt useless when she asked me to cook dinner. I felt useless when she asked me to cook dinner. Fabulous, fabulous. I felt fabulous in my new black dress. I felt fabulous in my new black dress. Petty, petty. I think that his attitude is a bit petty. I think that his attitude is a bit petty. Grouchy, grouchy. I had a headache and was incredibly grouchy. I had a headache and was incredibly grouchy. Worthless, worthless. I felt worthless after being fired from my job. I felt worthless after being fired from my job. Melodramatic, melodramatic. Don't you think you're being rather melodramatic? Don't you think you're being rather melodramatic? Smitten, smitten. I was completely smitten with her. I was completely smitten with her. Elated, elated. The crowds in the square were elated by the news. The crowds in the square were elated by the news. Blissful, blissful. She remained in blissful ignorance of these events. She remained in blissful ignorance of these events. Apprehensive, apprehensive. The long delay had made me quite apprehensive. The long delay had made me quite apprehensive. Bewildered, bewildered. The driver was bewildered by the conflicting road signs. The driver was bewildered by the conflicting road signs. Stressed, stressed. He was feeling very stressed and tired. He was feeling very stressed and tired. Alienated. Alienated. Lucy had become increasingly alienated from her family. Lucy had become increasingly alienated from her family. Freezing. Freezing. We were freezing cold in the tent last night. We were freezing cold in the tent last night. Euphoric. Euphoric. Scientists are euphoric at the success of the test. Scientists are euphoric at the success of the test. Uplifted. Uplifted. He felt uplifted by her presence. He felt uplifted by her presence. Silly. Silly. Stop being so silly and immature, Ben. Stop being so silly and immature, Ben. Apologetic. Apologetic. They were very apologetic about the trouble they'd caused. They were very apologetic about the trouble they'd caused. Exhausted. Exhausted. I must get some sleep. I'm exhausted. I must get some sleep. I'm exhausted. Appreciative. Appreciative. I'm very appreciative of all the support you've given me. I'm very appreciative of all the support you've given me. Emotional. Emotional. He got quite emotional during the speech. He got quite emotional during the speech. Pessimistic. Pessimistic. I am deeply pessimistic about the future. I am deeply pessimistic about the future. Over the moon. Over the moon. They're over the moon about their trip to Japan. They're over the moon about their trip to Japan.